You'd be in good company if your interest is piqued whenever Disney comes out with a new animated film, especially if that animated film in question is also a musical. There's something magical about any Disney musical, made even more magical when the plot itself is centered on magic. Personally, I went into Encanto rather blind, but I knew I had to see it when the opportunity arose. Encanto tells the tale of an extraordinary family, the Madrigals, who live hidden in the mountains of Colombia in a magical house in a vibrant town in a wondrous charmed place called the Encanto. The magic of the Encanto has blessed every child in the family with a unique gift from super strength to the power to heal. Every child except one, Mirabelle. But when she discovers that the magic surrounding the Encanto is in danger, Mirabelle decides that she, the only ordinary Madrigal, might just be her exceptional family's last hope. We've seen stories like this before, of course, right? The journey of the ordinary in the world of the extraordinary, while taking the time and the energy and the effort to learn what's actually important and how being ordinary in and of itself can be the power. More than that though, there's a fable or two to be found in this film centered around not superpowers, but the power found when a family loves one another, and what kind of physical turmoil can manifest itself when a family hides things away or gets into heated arguments. I especially appreciate Encanto's villain. Every kid's movie typically has a villain, and oftentimes that villain is of the mustache-twirling variety. But this film, in a way, has threats that change. There's inner doubt, otherwise known as man versus self. There's also a villain in the film that's a villain not by choice, but out of fear. But that fear is negatively affecting the entire family. Disney often has a way with metaphors that help teach important life lessons, and that is once again true here. Now, you might be wondering about the music, given how it's a musical. There's no right or wrong answer here. Taste in music is subjective. I found the arrangement of this music written by Lin-Manuel Miranda to be fantastic and rich in culture and emotion. I am always impressed with Lin's ability to constantly write toe-tapping numbers. I don't think I personally would buy the soundtrack here because none of the songs live rent-free in my head like they would, say, with Frozen. You can say that that's a good thing, but for me, there's something unique about a memorable song that leaves an impression. A lot of the music is indeed relevant to help express the emotions of the characters, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I was hoping for songs that I'd leave the movie humming in my head with, and that didn't happen. That may not be true for you though. You might love every song. I won't judge. But for me, the music was just, it was fine for when you're watching the movie, but nothing else. I was much more invested in the characters, their diversity, and their backgrounds. Everybody in this film had a stake in the film. They all had some really impressive development too. They weren't just characters with powers. They were a family, and what's more important than that was the fact that they were believably a family too. Some of them love each other while some of them just can't stand each other. A lot of them live under a misguided idea of perfection and living by what they think their family wants from them when it's often the opposite, which for a kid's movie is a breath of fresh air to see. Usually what you typically see is rainbows and butterflies staying away from important topics. But this looks at that with an honest take. And the visuals in the film are fantastic, filled to the brim with vibrancy and light. There's a lot to love about Encanto, and I think that it'll be really important for a kid to watch in today's world, especially when it comes down to family and inner acceptance. I think that it'll make a difference in the long run and easily be a film that, as kids grow older, they'll think back with fond memories of it. It's not nearly a perfect film, I don't think, but it's one of the few animated films to stand out in 2021 overall. But it is Disney, so, are you surprised? When looking purely at the technical side of things, or my unbiased score, I think that it's important to note that the visuals in the film are once again impressive. I think that the moral of the story is deep and meaningful in ways that kids might not understand right away, but they'll appreciate later in life. I think that the music is culturally significant and beautiful, even if I personally won't remember the songs, all of which was stitched together in some fantastic use of editing. My unbiased score is nearly perfect at 96%. As for how I personally felt about the movie, or my bias score, I won't lie, I absolutely enjoyed the movie, but it's not my favorite animated film of the year. That's probably still Raya and the Last Dragon, which stood out to me a little bit more than this. If the songs made more of an impact for me, personally, I feel like I would have given the bias score a much higher percentage. But overall, I'll just give it a good score of 78%. Meaning that when we combine the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 87%. 87 out of 100 possible stars. Now, I want to hear about you guys. What did you think about Encanto? Did you see it yet? And if you have, leave your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come up with my next review. And until then, peace out.